The next one is from Enrique Martinez. Subject is question for you guys. Hey, Conan, Di, and Joe, my question is, what do you think about Drew McIntyre? Enrique from Austin, Minnesota. That's great look, great work, cuts a good promo. We need big guys. Wrestling needs big, larger than life characters. He fits the bill.
It's something that we've heard JR say a million times. Basically the saying is just, all right, you got to leave, go away, learn a new hold, and come back, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So with Drew, he was stuck in that three-man band, and he probably never would have gotten a push again. But the fact that he left, he got in incredible shape. He went to Impact. He was doing all that stuff on the Indies and made himself a big name out there. They bring him back, and that's how it worked for him. He needed that time away to be perceived as a big star, I think.
The next one's from Robbie Cutt. Subject is Shinsuke Nakamura's time in the WWE. What up, everybody? Hope you're all enjoying your quarantine. I spent most of my time in Iranian fog. Anyway, over in the YouTube comments, we were talking about Nakamura's time in WWE so far. Some people think the hype around him coming into America set fans' expectations too high. Others think the WWE style and presentation forced him into a box. And I was curious to get your take on why he seemed to flatline so quickly over here. Thanks. Really enjoy the show, Robbie C. I've said this when he was coming in. And, of course, because he was one of the better wrestlers in Japan, arguably one of the top three at the time. And that comes from basically rating the matches with stars. So basically he was a guy that was getting high-rated matches. I've said this all along. Conan books, bro, you need more tools in your bag to be a professional wrestler doing weekly television than just being able to have good matches. Because if you have good matches and you can't talk, even Conan will tell you this, it's very difficult to book you. Okay, so I just said if the guy can't talk, I don't see him being this big star that everybody's going to be. And it's like that, you got to learn English. And
not only that, bro. Here's the other problem is Di, because you could have somebody talk for him or do the mood character type thing, but the other problem, and he has charisma. The problem is, because when I came in, I thought he was going to do good because I thought, okay, he can have great matches with AJ Styles, who knows how to wrestle that Japanese style. He can have great matches with Samoa Joe that knows how to wrestle that style. There's enough people that know how to wrestle his style. What I think he never really learned was our style.
Well, he did learn it, but it's too late.
Yeah.
If he would have known, hey, this is how American style works. Because everybody wanted – here's the thing. There was that thing of like the dirt sheet guys and the marks. They wanted everybody to work – the WWE guys to work his style. That's not how the WWE machine works. They have a specific – they have a factory down there, a performance center. They're teaching people how to work this style. And it's like this is a WWE style. You got to be able to talk. You got to be able to have good facials. You got to be able to work, and you got to be safe. You can't hurt the guys you're working against. That's a huge thing.
Has he hurt people? Has he hurt people?
It's just very, very. It's very reckless, snug style. It's like it's a Japan. Like in Japanese, they don't care. They beat the piss out of each other over there. But you can't come. You can't do 220 dates a year in the WWE and beat the piss out of each other. You're gonna have rack up injuries. And they invest in guarantees for these guys. So they're saying you're going to make this money this year. If you get hurt, I still got to pay you. It's like, he can't work that way,
Well, think about his arc in WWE. He came in, he had a really great match with Sami Zayn on NXT. The people were already singing along to his song. It looked like it was going to be a big push for him and all that. And then within a couple of years, he was on top of the card. He was main event with AJ Styles for 3 or 4 months. And both those guys came in from Japan at the same time. AJ versus Nakamura was the smart fans' dream match. And by the second time those guys were on pay-per-view again, people were like, all right, let's fucking ixnay this, cut it. That's how people turned against Nakamura. They went from a dream match, wet dream match for Smarks to, all right, let's end this fucking angle already. I couldn't believe that,
And then he turned on Styles. Remember, he turned heel.
He kept kicking him in the balls.
Yeah.
That was his heel turn.
It's kind of a shame to me because I really thought Nakamura, I was a big fan of his New Japan. I really thought that he was going to be a big star, and I was definitely wrong there.
Well, you just remind me of something. So he started kicking people in the balls, right? Because this is one thing about Japanese wrestling that nobody really brings up is, bro, there's no babyface heel dynamic. The wrestlers are just going out there and wrestling, and you can't the Vince McMahon and like most American style wrestling is based on the premise of the good guy versus bad guy.
There is some babyface heel dynamic.
In New Japan?
Yeah.
Well, the guys don't cheat. Well, what's the babyface heel dynamic? If the heel never does anything, if the heel's out wrestling the babyface, bro, the guys don't wrestle under that concept.
The Bullet
because
Club.
in the United American wrestling, baby faces cheat. They get heat, and when it's time for the comeback, they're begging the babyface not to beat him up.
Right.
It's.
What were you going to
really
say, Joe?
for me.
The Bullet Club does that typical traditional heel stuff. They'll cheat. They'll attack the opponent to keep the belt on their guy. Shit like that. The Bullet Club does do shit like that.
But this, you know what I never see though, and then, like this is a lost art is the begging off, where you're begging the guy not to. Bro, I used to. There was a match. Go watch Scott Steiner in WCW when he was getting his big push. Bro, he's mean and stuff. But when it's time for the comeback, he'd be like, "Hey, no." And it's just a simple thing that gets the fans boo the guy.
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
Yeah. I still do that. I still do that today when I'm in the ring. When
no. I said, bro, it gets heat. The people love that. Kick his ass.
That's just American style psychology, which still works anywhere.
And it gets a pop, and you don't even do nothing.
Right.
You go like, hey, and the people are coming up. It's like Jesus. So that's the mailbag this week.
All right. Enjoy the rest of the show. Boom.